What's up, everybody? This is Limitz, bringing you guys another episode of my Great White series here. Now I'm playing against Deadweight and his little brother, Gauss Hogs, and my teammate's going to be for Tobacco. And this is the second game that we played. The first game was literally a waste of my 7 minutes, and it was a steamroll. I didn't really record that because I wasn't really expecting to run into anybody good. So anyways, after the first game, I got a lengthy message of hate mail from Kihz saying how he's rusty, they're running WNSC, and that I need to search again and see what happens. So I'm gonna rise to the challenge here, and we search him out again, and I'm playing with 4 Tobacco, making pretty much a statement here, I guess. And we're running Cutter Brute, and Kihz and Gauss Hogs are running Anders Brute. It's a pretty even matchup for this map, I think. Depends how each UNSC player really plays it. And I'm sure that when Kihz ran into me while playing with 4 Tobacco, he probably wet himself, thinking that this was the perfect opportunity to finally, catch me when I'm not playing with one of my regular teammates. So the chemistry thing there, it's non-existent really between me and Tobacco. I think we've played maybe 10 games total with each other, and Kihz was sitting here complaining and pretty much bitching up a storm that him and Gauss Hogs have only played like 30 games since they've came back. And then if you even watch Kihz's videos, I think in one of his videos he even states that he doesn't consider himself rusty because this game's like riding a bike. I don't remember the exact line he said, but then he turns around and gets his shit pushed in by me and starts saying he's rusty. Well, it doesn't matter if he's rusty or not, because Kihz in his prime was always like my bitch in 2v2. So, whatever. Anyways, as you can see what's going on, I'm getting spawn locked. We are going over to Kihz's base to spawn lock him. And I'm just going to get Citadel here. That way if the Anders does a quick Grenadier, he can't do that much damage to my main base, because a quick Grenadier with an Anders kind of counteracts a Mac Blast from a Cutter if this turns into a cheesing affair. And as you can see, Kihz is really bad with hook control. He tried doing something really stupid with the Brute this game, and Tobacco cuts that Brute off, ends up getting his hooks. And Kihz did get Tobacco's hooks, but that just means he's not going to be anywhere near my base for a while. If Kihz would have just came straight over to my base and unlocked a lot sooner, that would have been a lot smarter of a decision. But he's just now getting to my base. He's late to the party, and it's just a counteract right now. So Kihz does choose to unlock, and we didn't have a whole lot spawn locking in comparison to what they have spawn locking me, but it's efficient enough. And I'm going to DQ a Brute here, and I think it's important that I just get inheritance. That way I can keep any pad down by myself just with my chieftain. And basically what I'm just going to be doing this entire game is stacking Brutes, because it doesn't matter that I'm spawn locked or anything. If I just stack Brutes, the minute that they just let my Brutes slip out, it's going to be game over. And once again, Kihz is trying to sneak something, but just not a smart decision by him. He probably should have stacked his brute squads, but he doesn't really play good brute. And so check out this micro here by those warthogs. Lol. And I'm going to keep the summit down once again. Now here's something else that's really important in this game that a lot of people don't understand, is that I'm not in any hurry to really get air out. You don't see me throwing up a summit or anything. I'm not throwing up a summit because that's $150 getting slapped down right away. And so I'm throwing up supply pads, which is just $100 getting slapped down. And so that's actually helping my economy out. So although they have more stuff at my base hitting my base, my economy is probably on par with Kihz right now. Even though I'm actually losing pads and all he's doing is getting a summit stopped. So Tobacco gets a tank over at my base, and I have 7 brute squads here that I'm going to unlock. And if those brute squads get through on Kihz's base, you can pretty much tell him that it's game over. But what they're going to do here is D-bomb. And that's actually a really smart move. I wasn't expecting that. But I'm sure that idea had to have come from Gauss Hogs, because Kihz is not able to come up with something that intelligent by himself. And as you can see, Gauss Hogs finally gets Gauss. But we do have tanks here, and he does not have enough numbers to do anything. And since Kihz does have Tobacco's hooks, you can see that that's where he was pumping Banshees at. But he never cared to really upgrade any supply pads on his main base, although I never attacked his supply pads. So he doesn't really have a good economy, and he's trying to pump Banshees, which once again comes from an inexperienced brute player. So Tobacco's going back to his base to kind of fend that off, because they are going after his vehicle depot, and he is already Tech 3, so he's just going to pump out a few wolves for that. And since I have nothing at my base, I just keep building brute squads here, and I'm just going to crush the economy of Kihz and start slowly pumping some Banshees myself. And as you can see, with Kihz's poor economy, he's only able to get about 4 or 5 Banshees. And now I'm stripping his base basically. And since Kihz has a summit over there where those pads were at, he doesn't really have backup supplies. Like if you built an extra supply pad on those side pads, even though your base is getting stripped and whatnot, you still have somewhat of an economy. But since he has a summit over there, there's no economy. And Gauss Hogs is trying to help out dead weight. But once again, if you can't carry your own weight, you're never going to win a game. And I am going to shield this game. I normally don't shield, but the only way that they can possibly win is if Gauss Hogs comes over with a whole bunch of Gauss and hits my base. But he's going to choose to attack me with his Gauss Hogs and play defense still. And he does use that freeze, which he ended up freezing some of his own warthogs. And instead of building Banshees, since they're not the greatest asset against Gauss Hogs, I'm just going to build up my economy under this shield. And I tell Tobacco to push up with me because Kihz is on the breaking point, and I don't think that they're going to have enough Gauss to stop us. As you can see, Kihz is desperately trying to do something with his useless Banshees. And so the Gauss is going to engage the Tank Wolverine army. It's only 3 tanks, but I'm going to go ahead and get my chieftain up there and help him out with a little bit of vortex, which I actually do a horrible job of doing. I actually just start vortexing Tobacco's tank, and it doesn't matter, they're not going to be able to fend us off anyways. So beating Kihz with Tobacco here, and hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a great day.